My wife demanded a divorce at my 65 years. She wanted everything: the house, the car, our retirement accounts. My lawyer told me to fight back, but I just signed the papers she put in front of me. She celebrated for 2 weeks, thinking she'd won. Then, one morning, someone knocked on her door. Name's Ron Pierce, 65 years old, and this is my story. I spent 42 years thinking I knew the woman I married. We built our life together from nothing. A 3-bedroom house in suburban Cincinnati. 2 kids who grew up to be decent people. A retirement fund I'd been feeding for decades, working 50-hour weeks managing construction projects. At 65, I figured I'd earned the right to enjoy my golden years in peace. That Tuesday morning in March changed everything. Linda came down to breakfast wearing jewelry I'd never seen before. Diamond earrings that caught the kitchen light like little spotlights. In 42 years of marriage, my wife had never been one for flashy stuff. "Those are new," I said, adjusting the level on my coffee mug like I was checking a foundation measurement. "Client gift," she said, not meeting my eyes. Linda sold houses part-time, had for about 5 years since she got bored staying home. Big sale last week. Something didn't measure right about her answer, but I let it slide. After 4 decades together, you learn to pick your battles. Besides, I had a project meeting that morning and needed to focus on load calculations, not jewelry. When you're managing a construction site, you can't afford to let personal stuff throw off your measurements. But the signs kept adding up like stress fractures in a foundation. Late phone calls she'd take in the garage, her voice dropping to whispers. I'd be in my workshop, filing down a rough edge on some cabinet door, and I'd hear her through the thin walls. The tone was different, softer, more intimate than she'd used with me in years. Weekend showings that lasted way too long for any legitimate house tour. Linda would leave at 10 a.m. for what she called client meetings and come back at 6 p.m. with her makeup smeared, and her hair mussed up like she'd been wrestling with more than paperwork. New clothes started appearing too. Expensive stuff that cost more than my monthly truck payment. When I asked where the money came from, Linda would get that look like I was being unreasonable for tracking our household expenses. "It's commission money, Ron. You wouldn't understand the real estate game, wouldn't understand. Right? Like 40 years of managing budgets and timelines hadn't taught me anything about business. Like I was some kind of dummy who only knew how to swing a hammer and read blueprints. The thing is, I understood more than she thought. I'd been tracking our household expenses for years, every receipt filed, every account balanced to the penny. That's how you build something solid. You pay attention to the details, the small cracks before they become structural problems. And I was starting to notice details that didn't add up, money moving around in patterns that made no sense. Our savings account showing withdrawals I couldn't account for, small amounts at first, then bigger chunks. Like someone was testing the structure before applying full load. The withdrawals always happened on days Linda claimed to be showing houses to clients. The receipts started showing up too. Fancy restaurants I'd never heard of, tucked in her purse like she'd forgotten about them. Places with names like La Bernardine and Chez Laurent, establishments that served the kind of intimate dinners Linda and I hadn't shared in years. When I asked about them, my voice carefully neutral, she'd sigh heavily, like my very existence had become a burden she could barely tolerate. "Business dinners, Ron. Networking with other agents. You know how this works." But I didn't know how it worked because Linda had never needed to network before. For 5 years of part-time real estate work, she'd been perfectly content showing houses to suburban families looking for starter homes. Now suddenly she was dining at restaurants that cost more than some people's monthly rent. Then came the phone calls. Not for me. Never for me anymore. Linda would get this tone in her voice I hadn't heard since our early dating days. Soft, flirty, the way she used to talk to me before kids and mortgages wore the shine off everything. I'd be in the living room, reading technical manuals or checking the evening news, and I'd catch fragments of conversation from the kitchen. Linda would be standing by the window, her back to me, speaking in whispers that barely carried across the house. "I can't wait to see you," I heard her say one evening in May. "Jason, you know what that does to me, Jason." I ran the name through my mental files but came up empty. No Jason in our circle of friends, no Jason at her real estate office that she'd ever mentioned, no Jason at church or in the neighborhood. The name hit my ears like finding an unknown load on a structural beam, something that didn't belong, something that could compromise the whole system. I could have confronted her right then. Part of me wanted to, But something held me back, the same instinct that kept me from rushing foundation work. You don't pour concrete until you've checked the ground conditions. You don't start building until you know exactly what you're building on. Rush the process and the whole structure comes down later. So I started paying closer attention, checking receipts more carefully, noting when she left for showings and when she came back, tracking the mileage on her car against the addresses she claimed to be visiting. When you've spent decades managing construction crews, you develop an eye for inconsistencies. Workers who claim they're installing pipe when the materials don't match. Subcontractors who bill for hours they never worked. The signs are always there if you know how to look. Linda's patterns weren't adding up. She'd leave for a showing in Westwood but come back with mileage that suggested she'd driven to downtown Cincinnati. She'd claimed to be meeting clients at 2 p.m. but wouldn't return until 8 p.m., long after any legitimate house showing would have ended. The wear patterns on her shoes told a different story too, not the kind of scuffing you get from walking through empty houses, but the smooth soles that come from sitting in restaurants and hotel lounges. I started documenting everything with the same methodical approach I used for project specifications: times, locations, mileage readings, unexplained expenses. I kept a notebook in my workshop, hidden behind my toolbox where Linda never looked. Every discrepancy got recorded, every inconsistency logged, like tracking stress points in a load-bearing wall. The breaking point came on a Thursday night in May. Linda was working late again, or so she said. I was in my workshop, trying to fix a client's cabinet door that had warped in the humid Cincinnati weather, when I decided to check our bank statements online. Routine monthly review, the kind of financial maintenance that keeps a household running smooth. That's when I found Phoenix Solutions LLC. Never heard of it before, but according to our records, we'd been paying them for consulting services, $3,200 last month alone, then $4,800 the month before that. Going back almost a year, regular payments to this company I'd never approved. Never even heard Linda mention. The amounts were substantial, more than our monthly grocery bill, more than our utility payments. I cross-referenced the dates with Linda's calendar, the one she kept on the kitchen counter to track her showings. Every payment to Phoenix Solutions matched up perfectly with one of her weekend client meetings. The correlation was too precise to be coincidental. In construction, when you see that kind of pattern alignment, you know you're dealing with structural planning, not random occurrence. My hands went steady the way they always did when I found a serious problem on a job site. No panic, no rushing to conclusions. Just the cold focus that came from 40 years of methodically identifying and solving problems before they brought down the whole project. I spent the next hour tracing the financial trail. Phoenix Solutions had been incorporated 18 months ago in Delaware, standard practice for shell companies looking to hide their real operations. The registered address led to a mail forwarding service. The payment trail showed money flowing out of our joint checking account and into Phoenix's business account, then immediately transferring to personal accounts I didn't recognize. Someone had been systematically draining our marriage like siphoning concrete from a foundation pour. And they'd been smart about it, keeping the amounts below the threshold that would trigger automatic bank notifications, spacing out the transfers so they wouldn't show up as obvious patterns on monthly statements. The next morning, Linda came home around 10 a.m. with her hair messed up and her makeup smeared. She moved differently too, with the loose, satisfied walk of someone who'd been somewhere other than a client meeting. Rough showing? I asked, not looking up from my coffee. I was reading the sports section, but my mind was running calculations on Phoenix Solutions. Very demanding clients, she said, heading straight for the shower without making eye contact. Some people don't understand the market. I waited until I heard the water running, then called the number listed for Phoenix Solutions. It went straight to voicemail. A man's voice, young and confident with the smooth delivery of someone used to making sales pitches. You've reached Jason Murphy at Phoenix Solutions. Leave a message and I'll get back to you, Jason Murphy. There was my missing piece. The name I'd heard whispered in late-night phone calls. The ghost in our financial records. The reason my wife of 42 years was suddenly wearing diamond earrings and coming home with her makeup smeared. I hung up without leaving a message. In construction, once you identify the structural problem, you don't start demolition until you've got a plan for rebuilding. You document the damage, calculate the costs, and figure out exactly what materials you'll need to fix the foundation properly. That evening, Linda announced she wanted a divorce. She picked the kitchen table, the same place where we'd made family decisions for 4 decades. Budget planning, vacation schedules, college discussions for the kids. Now she was sitting across from me like we were negotiating a contract to bid, her posture formal and her expression set in the way that meant she'd already made up her mind about the outcome. "Ron," she said, folding her hands on the table with practiced precision, "we need to talk." I set down my beer and gave her my full attention. In construction, you always listen to the complete scope of work before you respond. Interrupting the client mid-explanation is how you miss critical details that can destroy a project timeline. "I want a divorce." The words hit like finding out your foundation has been built on shifting soil. Not completely surprising once you see all the warning signs, but still a gut punch when the structural engineer delivers the official verdict. "I see," I said, keeping my voice level. "Any particular reason?" She had it all rehearsed, probably practiced the speech in front of her bathroom mirror. We'd grown apart over the years. Different goals for our retirement. She needed space to find herself and explore new opportunities. The standard script that people use when they don't want to admit they've been lying and cheating for months while systematically looting the family finances. "I've already talked to a lawyer," she said, sliding a manila folder across the table like presenting construction drawings. "I'm prepared to be fair about the division of assets. Fair." I opened the folder and read through the terms with the same careful attention I'd give to project specifications. Linda would get the house, the one I'd spent weekends updating and maintaining for 15 years, the cars including the Lexus I'd bought her for her 60th birthday. Most of our retirement savings, the 401 kili I'd been feeding with overtime hours and weekend projects. I'd get to keep my tools, my truck, and a monthly support payment that wouldn't cover rent on a decent apartment in today's market. "This doesn't look particularly fair to me," I said, keeping my voice steady as a spirit level. "Ron, let's not make this ugly. You know I deserve half of everything we've built together. I've been a good wife for 42 years, a good wife, right? A good wife who'd been funneling our retirement money to her boyfriend through a shell company. A good wife who'd been planning my financial destruction while I worked overtime to build our nest egg. I'll need time to review this properly," I said, closing the folder. "Don't take too long. My lawyer says dragging this out just makes things more expensive for everyone." That night I sat in my workshop and did what I always did when facing a complex structural problem. I made a plan. You don't demolish a building without knowing exactly how you're going to rebuild it. You assess the damage, calculate the materials needed, and work out the sequence of operations that will get you to a solid foundation. First step was finding out exactly what I was dealing with. I called my daughter Michelle the next morning. We talked maybe once a month, usually about the grandkids or holiday plans. Hearing from me on a random Friday probably surprised her. "Dad?" She sounded confused, maybe a little worried. "Everything okay?" "Your mother wants a divorce," I said, cutting straight to the foundation of the problem. Silence. Complete silence that stretched across the phone line for what felt like a full minute. Then, "What? Dad? No, you guys are solid, you're like your mom and dad. You don't get divorced." "Apparently we do, Michelle. I need to ask you something, and I need you to be straight with me. Has your mother seemed different lately when you've talked to her?" Another pause, and I could practically hear her thinking, sifting through recent conversations for clues she might have missed. "Actually, yeah," she said finally, her voice dropping like she was afraid Linda might overhear. "She's been weird about money. Asked me not to mention some shopping trips to you, and there was this guy at her office Christmas party last December." "What guy?" "Younger guy. Maybe mid-40s, dark hair, expensive suit." She introduced him as a business partner, but Dad, the way they were looking at each other, I thought it was weird at the time, but I figured I was reading too much into it. "Jason Murphy. Had to be." The voice on the Phoenix Solutions voicemail, the name whispered during late-night phone calls, the reason my wife was suddenly interested in expensive jewelry and French restaurants. "Dad, what are you going to do?" Good question. What was I going to do? The old Ron might have accepted Linda's terms, maybe tried to negotiate a slightly better deal, and called it good. But 40 years of construction had taught me something crucial. When you find structural damage, you don't just patch it and hope for the best. You investigate fully, document everything, and fix it properly the first time. "I'm going to find out what your mother's been hiding," I said. "And then I'm going to build something better." I started with Daniel Foster, a forensic accountant that Michelle's friend had recommended after her own messy divorce. Foster's office was downtown in one of those glass towers I'd helped wire back in the 90s when I was still doing electrical subcontracting work, Mr. Pierce, Foster said after I'd laid out the whole situation. "If your wife has been hiding assets through shell companies, we can find the paper trail. But I need to warn you up front. This investigation might get uncomfortable. She'll realize you're digging into things, and people don't usually react well to that kind of scrutiny. I'm ready for uncomfortable, I said. I've been dealing with difficult working conditions for 40 years. Foster smiled at that. Then let's get to work. Over the next week, I became a detective in my own life, using the same methodical approach I'd apply to troubleshooting a complex electrical system. I photographed every document I could find in Linda's home office when she was out on her mysterious client meetings. Bank statements, real estate contracts, phone records, credit card bills. I created a new email account she didn't know about and forwarded everything to Foster for analysis. The work felt familiar in a strange way, like doing quality control inspections on a job site, checking that every component met specifications before moving to the next phase. Except, instead of testing concrete strength and verifying electrical connections, I was documenting the systematic dismantling of my marriage. Linda noticed the change in me, how could she not? I stopped asking about her day, stopped pretending everything was normal between us. We moved around each other like strangers sharing a construction site, polite but distant, each focused on our separate tasks. Have you thought about the papers? She asked one evening, catching me reading in the living room. Still reviewing the structural specifications, I said, not looking up from my magazine. Her jaw tightened the way it did when she was frustrated with my technical language. Ron, don't make this harder than it needs to be. The settlement offer is generous. Is it? I met her eyes directly. Seems like there might be some load-bearing elements I need to understand before I sign off on the project. She studied my face, looking for cracks in my foundation. What's that supposed to mean? Nothing specific. Just want to make sure I understand the full scope of work before committing to the timeline. 3 days later, Foster called with results. Mr. Pierce, you need to come in immediately. We found something significant. Foster's office felt smaller this time, the walls covered with documents and financial charts that looked like blueprints for a crime. He had spreadsheets laid out across his conference table, each one tracking money flows with the precision of architectural drawings. Your wife owns Phoenix Solutions, he said without any preliminary small talk. She registered it 18 months ago as a Delaware LLC. According to these records, Phoenix has been receiving payments from several real estate deals where she represented both buyer and seller, collecting double commissions. My stomach dropped like an elevator with a snapped cable. That's illegal, isn't it? Very. It's a clear conflict of interest, and she's been hiding those commissions from the IRS. But that's not the worst part. Foster turned to another spreadsheet, this one showing account transfers. She's been moving that money through multiple bank accounts before depositing it into Phoenix's business account. Over the past 18 months, she's hidden approximately $180,000 in marital assets. $180,000. More money than I'd made in some years when I was starting out as an apprentice electrician. Money that should have been going toward our retirement, our future security, maybe helping the kids with their mortgages or the grandkids' college funds. She's been planning this divorce for a long time, Mr. Pierce, creating a paper trail that makes it look like your marital assets are much smaller than they actually are. When you sign those papers, you'll be giving up your right to money that's legally half yours. The betrayal hit like finding out your foundation had been undermined while you were working on the upper floors. Everything you thought was solid suddenly showed its weakness, and you realized the whole structure could come down. Can we prove this in court? I asked. We can? But Mr. Pierce, if we expose this, we're not just talking about divorce court anymore. This is fraud, tax evasion, professional misconduct. Your wife could face criminal charges. Are you prepared for that level of escalation? I thought about Jason Murphy's voice on the voicemail, confident and smooth. I thought about the diamond earrings Linda wore to breakfast, the expensive restaurants she visited while claiming to show houses. I thought about 42 years of my life she was trying to erase with forged paperwork and hidden money. Yes, I said, my voice steady as a foundation pour. I'm prepared. That night, Linda came home from another showing with her lipstick smeared and her story ready. Jason must have briefed her well because she had details about imaginary clients and property features that sounded almost believable. Difficult clients, she said, not meeting my eyes as she headed for the stairs. Some people don't understand market conditions. I was sitting in the living room with the divorce papers spread on the coffee table like construction blueprints, studying every clause and calculation. Ready to sign? She asked, pausing at the bottom of the staircase. For the first time in months, she was actually smiling. I looked up at her, this woman who'd shared my bed for 4 decades, who'd raised my children, who I'd trusted with everything I'd worked for, and smiled back. Actually, I have some questions first. About Phoenix Solutions. The color drained from her face faster than concrete through a broken form. Her hand gripped the banister like she needed structural support. "How did you?" She caught herself, tried to recover her footing. "That's just a small business venture. Nothing to do with the divorce, isn't it? Because it looks like a lot of our retirement money has been flowing through Phoenix lately." Linda's carefully constructed facade collapsed completely. "You've been snooping through my private papers." "Our papers," I corrected. "We're still married, Linda. Community property state. What's mine is yours, and what's yours is mine." She took a step toward me, and for the first time in our marriage, I saw something dangerous in her expression. Something that told me the woman I'd married had been replaced by someone I didn't recognize. "Ron, you're making a mistake, a big one. Sign the papers. Take the settlement. Don't make this ugly." "Or what?" She didn't answer directly, but the threat was clear in her posture. I'd pushed against a load-bearing wall, and the whole structure was starting to shift. The next morning, I filed my own divorce papers, not with Linda's terms, but with my own attorney, Patricia Wells, a woman who specialized in high-asset divorces and had never lost a case to a spouse who thought they could game the system. When Linda got served at her real estate office that afternoon, I was at Foster's office signing documents to freeze our joint accounts and file formal complaints about Phoenix Solutions with both the State Attorney General and the IRS. Linda came home that evening like a Category 5 hurricane making landfall. "What the hell do you think you're doing?" she screamed, slamming the front door so hard the windows rattled. "Protecting my assets," I said calmly, not looking up from the technical manual I was reading. "Your assets? I earned half of everything we have. We'll let the court decide that." The hearing was set for September, giving us 3 months to gather evidence and prepare for legal warfare. During those months, the whole structure of Linda's carefully planned deception came apart like a building with faulty foundations. The state investigation into Phoenix Solutions led to criminal charges for fraud and tax evasion. Her real estate license was suspended pending review. Jason Murphy, it turned out, was married himself. His wife filed for divorce when the affair became public record, and he lost his own business consulting contract when his employer discovered the conflict of interest. Linda tried to reach me several times before the hearing, leaving voicemails that started angry and got more desperate as her legal bills mounted and her options narrowed. The courtroom was packed for the final hearing. Word had gotten around our neighborhood about the case, and people love watching a solid marriage reveal its structural flaws. Linda sat at the defendant's table with a court-appointed lawyer, having burned through her hidden money paying for legal representation. Judge Nancy Grant reviewed Foster's forensic report like she was reading engineering specifications, taking her time with every detail. "Mr. Pierce," she said finally, "over the course of your marriage, you accumulated approximately $850,000 in legitimate assets. Mrs. Pierce attempted to hide roughly $180,000 through fraudulent schemes. This court finds that Mr. Pierce is entitled to his community property share plus damages for fraud." Judge Grant looked up from her papers, her expression sharp as a surveyor's level. "Mrs. Pierce will receive 30% of legitimate marital assets. Mr. Pierce will retain the house, the primary vehicle, and 70% of all retirement accounts. Additionally, Mrs. Pierce will pay Mr. Pierce's legal fees totaling $48,000. Linda made a sound like a foundation cracking under load. "Furthermore, given Mrs. Pierce's demonstrated fraud, she is permanently barred from claiming any portion of Mr. Pierce's future assets or pension benefits." The gavel fell like a hammer hitting a nail. Clean, final, solid. 6 months later, I sold the house that had too many memories built into its walls. I bought a smaller place near Lake Erie, with a workshop twice the size of my old one and a view of the water from every window. Linda moved in with Jason Murphy after both their divorces were finalized, but that arrangement lasted about as long as a house built on shifting soil. Last I heard, she was working as a clerk in a title company, making a fraction of what she used to earn selling houses. Sometimes I see her car drive slowly past my new place. She looks at the workshop where I'm usually building something, but she never stops. That's fine by me. I've got projects to finish and a future to construct. The kids come by regularly now. Michelle brings the grandkids to use my workshop for school projects. Andrew stops in when he's driving through Ohio for business. We're building something new, something with a stronger foundation than what we had before. So that's my story. A 65-year-old man who refused to let his wife steal his life's work. What did I learn? That trust is like a foundation once it's cracked. You've got to tear it down and rebuild from solid ground. But if you do the work right, use quality materials and follow proper construction techniques, what you build next will be stronger than what you had before. The best revenge isn't getting even. It's building a better life with better people who understand the value of honest work and solid foundations. Sometimes you have to demolish the old structure completely before you can build something worth living in. Take it from an old construction worker. It's never too late to tear down what's broken and start building something better. Just make sure you check the ground conditions first. Use quality materials and never skip the foundation work. That's how you build something that lasts.